Hello, how are you this evening? This is Jacqueline with Creative Paper Crafting with Jackie, and I am doing my image tonight for my besties for my DT project. And I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me, so hopefully you can. Hi Dawn, I'm hoping that you can hear me okay. I am just setting up, just a moment, because I gotta log in so I can see messages, so I can read messages. So hopefully people are able to hear me tonight. Let's see. Hi, loud and clear. Okay. Hi, Sharon. Okay, so we'll get started, because I know that it's Wednesday night and people are busy. So this is an image from My Besties. I believe it was called Beautiful Fall Blessing. I believe that's what it was. Beautiful Fall Blessing. And it's from My Besties shop. And if you haven't liked my page, it's Creative Paper Crafting with Jackie. And I sure would appreciate anybody that hasn't liked my page that is watching to please like my page. And I am going to try to remember to... I should just cut this and tape it, and then it would be there. That would be a good idea. But I'm going to fold it back so I don't write on it, because I tend to have to reprint this every single time I do my project, because I write on it. So we'll have it here. People can see. I'm checking to see if you can see the image if I work on it right in here. Okay, maybe come down just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I think that you can see, and we'll get started. So I am going to do her face first tonight, and I will take off the tape in just a moment. I'm kind of using a hodgepodge of my markers again. Because she is Native American, I did do her a little bit darker, and I'm going to use E11, E13, and then I'm going to use my normal R20 for the cheeks. And I also am going to go ahead and use the E00. I'm getting them all out here. You can probably hear me. Sorry. E00 for her face. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to get started. And I am going to go in with my lightest color to kind of put a base down. And if you guys can't hear me or anything, please let me know. I do appreciate it, because I know that sometimes the sound, it just goes out. It goes crazy. And I do apologize about that. So I'm just putting a coat of the E00, and I did take both ends off on this one, because this one tends to like make drops, tends to bleed, and that's the worst thing that can happen when you are coloring an image, is to have a great big glob of ink. So I did take the lid off. Anyway, it's been super, super, super cold here. We had an Arctic blast. Had a lot of ice, and our college that I work at never closes, and all the schools were closed, the public schools, so I was scrambling around trying to find daycare early in the morning. Such a pain. When I was a public school teacher, it was a little bit easier, because I had off when the kids had off. But now I do not. So advantages and disadvantages of teaching public school versus college, I guess. Anyway, I think this cold snap hit everybody. Trying to see who's on so I can say hi. So Sharon and Dawn, that's all I see is Sharon and Dawn, but yet it says 5 people are on, so I'm not quite sure why I can't see who else is on. So if you're on, say hello so that I can say hi to you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use my E13, because I am making her a little bit darker. since she is Native American. And I live in Indiana, so we owe a lot here in Indiana to the Native Americans. I actually live right by an Indian mound, a great big Indian mound. I can see it outside my kitchen window off in the distance. So a nice reminder of what we owe to the Native Americans. We have a couple of big Indian mounds here in town. The one that's near me is, this is E11, is not as well visited. It is a protected piece of property, but it's not as well visited. The one in town, lots of people go there and walk up the side of it and, you know, visit. So I'm just going around with the E11. I'm just kind of just lightly kind of pulling it out. And at first her face is going to look really dark until I get her hair done. I always think it looks harsh when you're doing the faces. I don't know if you can see well enough or not. Hi, Gail. I don't know if I have my camera zoomed in well enough or not. You can always let me know what you want me to do, and I will do it. I'm here to keep you happy. She is a pretty image. She has a lot of small areas, though, so it is very challenging coloring her. But when she's done, she looks so pretty. Okay, so I am just trying to kind of, I think my marker's about out. So major panic might ensue. It's like no ink hardly. But that's okay. I think I've got another one of these. I do have a refill, but I don't think you really want me to refill it on air, on camera. That might not be a very pretty sight. Sorry, I'm just looking to see if I have another one. I don't have a nice storage case. I wish I did. I'm going to try to make one like Kevin has done. Okay, so I'm actually going a little bit lighter because my ink is basically out of my other marker. So I'm just kind of going around, softening the lines just a little bit. Then I'm going to go back in, and I am going to put a little bit of blush on her. I love my besties images to be nice and pink. And so this image is a fall image and not quite as pinky as some of the images. I just love when they're nice and pink. So I'm going around the side of her face, and actually also here along the side of her eyes to try to give them a little bit more oomph, you know. And I'm going to go a little bit darker, like that. Like that, like so, like that. You know, our Dawn is very good-natured because we do say, like so, because she says like so. But she says it so much better than we do. Okay, now I'm going to go back in again, just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit with my E13. Hi, Stephanie. I'm enjoying all the cards you're making, Stephanie. You have some awesome ones. So pretty. I love all your little embellishments. They're so cute. I don't. In Tennessee where you live, do you have a nice shop that you can go and get some cute little things? Because I love some of them so much. Oh my gosh. I kind of have a hodgepodge because, you know, this is very rural here. So when I see something, I do grab it thinking, oh, maybe I can use it later on. And then it sits here for ages and ages. But I went back through and organized all my things a little bit better so I could find some things. Okay, I'm using my E11. And just kind of trying to, not too much, just kind of darken her face a little bit more. Not really, she's not really super dark. Okay, and then I'm going in a little bit lighter with the E00. I really wanted to use my E00, but my ink ran out. So I'm going to have to order ink. I don't know if that Terry, if she sells refills. I don't know if anybody knows. But I did order markers from her the last time I ordered my markers. And my gosh, was she quick. She's amazing. So I was really very pleased. So I'll have to contact her and see if she does refills. Okay, so I'm going back in. Yes, you know what? I love everybody on the Besties team. I love Gail. I love Priya. Oh my gosh, she does some amazing things. I love Dawn. I love Elaine, Sharon. And even though Kevin's not like officially on the team, you know, he is on the team because he's just also wonderful. So I do love the team. I love everybody on the team. I do think that it's been a wonderful experience. I was so honored to be selected, and I love everybody I work with. I am going to go in with R21 on her lips. And when I do her hair, her face won't look quite so harsh. Now, her hair is a little challenging because you see she has, see right in here, she has a bit of a leather ribbon here, but on this side I really didn't see that, so a little challenging, but it's okay. Challenges are good. Challenges don't hurt. So I am taking my E04 and I'm just kind of putting a little bit more on her lips, just a little bit more. And then I'm going back in with my R21 and just kind of right here. Yeah, we had record-breaking temperatures the last couple of days. Yes, it is important, Stephanie, to have a good team because, you know, could be, I don't know, sometimes people, they don't get along. And there's, I don't mean that in a bad way, but sometimes people just don't get along, and so it is important to have a team that gets along. I think it's really important. And so I'm so thankful myself. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, you're like my biggest supporter. All right, so I'm going to put my skin markers off to the side, and I might grab them again because I often go back in and touch up. I feel like this is Sweet Sentiments paper, marker paper, and I feel like it kind of absorbs, and when it does, then it's necessary to go back in again. That's just my take on it. Okay, so for her hair, I am using E. I'm using E, hopefully E49. I truly had all my markers out and ready, and for some reason, oh, there it is. So I'm using E49, and I am using E27, and I am also using E27. E27. So if anybody's following along, that is what I'm using. But I'm wondering if some little munchkin upstairs hasn't grabbed a couple of my markers. Oh, here we go. Okay. And you see, this is an original, and this is the sketch. So you can see the difference. One is kind of a barrel, like a square. See, it's squared, and the sketch is rounded. I've heard they're going to quit making the originals. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Okay, so I'm going to go in and do her hair. And of course I picked an image with lots and lots of hair. What I am going to do is go ahead and, I'm going to move this down. I'm going to go ahead and do her ribbon just a little bit so that way I don't color over it while I'm doing this image. And for her ribbon I used R59, which is cardinal. R59. So I just wanted to go in here and do her ribbon just so I see it as I'm doing her hair. It just kind of helps me a little bit. My eyes are kind of blurry tonight. I'm having a little problem seeing. I've explained to people before I have two different lenses. I have one eye that is for distance, and one lens that is for up close. And they work together most of the time. Sometimes I have a little problem working together with them, and tonight seems to be a little bit of a... They're not in sync tonight. Sometimes people have contact lenses that do that, but I had eye surgery a couple of years ago, and they replaced my lenses when they did my eye surgery. And they fixed my astigmatism, which was like absolutely amazing. Because I've had astigmatism all my life, so it was just amazing. Okay, so I feel like, see on this side, I don't see a lot of ribbon. Okay, so now I'm going to do her hair. And I'm going to start actually with the lightest color first. Are my sugars okay? You know, hopefully. Hopefully they're okay. Hopefully. I'm really, really bad. I have to ration my medicine, so I am. Yeah. Sometimes maybe it's not the best. I don't know. So I'm starting with the lightest, and I'm just flicking. And I'm not the best flicker there is, but I am starting with the lightest. And I'm making her a brunette instead of making her have black hair. I am having her be just a brunette. I'm hoping I'm in frame. If I need to zoom in more, you know, just let me know and I will do it. And I do think that hair looks like a hot mess until you get done with it. And I do apologize. That's just the way it works. I figure after I've done hair about 5,000 times, maybe then I'll feel more confident with hair. But until then, hair is challenging. All right, so now I'm going to go in with my next color, E27, my medium color. And I'm just doing the same thing, just kind of flicking. And I'm following the lines of the hair. Because Sherry Baldy, who is the artist, I mean, she does a wonderful job actually with the hair. She actually has quite a bit of lines. So it does seem like it's well thought out. Sometimes you have images where they don't have a lot of lines. And you have to kind of improvise. Now, I might have this ribbon thing off. I don't know. I just was trying to do it where I thought it was at. So So if I have it off, when you do yours, you can draw your ribbon more than I drew mine, or colored mine. So I'm just kind of going in, just little flicks. Now I'm going in with the darker color, which is E49, which is dark bark. And again, on this one, I am taking both ends off because this one tends to do those globs. I'm sorry I get quiet when I do this. In the afternoons with my students, I teach international students. We had visitors today, and they joined in on some of the coursework that we're doing. They found it quite challenging. I thought that was kind of... I tell my students all the time that American students really don't know all the grammar rules. You just learn grammar, and it comes instinctively. You don't really know the names of the rules and what all you're doing. And I thought it was eye-opening. they thought it was eye-opening themselves to see what all my students have to learn in order to be able to take college classes. So now I'm going in with the lighter color, the E25, and I am going to pull this out. And I'm going to go over this a couple times. I'm doing this so it kind of pulls out the darker color and provides a highlight. And so at the moment it doesn't look so great, but you know, it will be okay. The nice thing about Copics is they layer the color down, and you can do as many layers as you really need. Sometimes I have to let my paper dry a little bit, but you know, that's okay. So I'm just doing flicks. You can kind of hear it. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Yeah. So I'm going to go back in again. I'm doing it sort of in sections. I'm going to go back in with the medium color, the E27. Hi, Carolyn. Let's see if I can see it, who else is on. So Carolyn Durnell. Oh, hi, Fatima. How are you? And Sandra. I'm not sure which way you pronounce your name. Such a pretty name. And this is a cute image. I do love it. And I'm just doing, you know, the flicks again. And then I'll tidy up her hair a little bit as I go. So just doing some flicks. A little bit of flicks. And the hair, this hair is challenging because she has feathers. She's got all sorts of things going on in her hair. So it is a little bit more challenging. But we have so many images that we have for the month, and we kind of decide we kind of like say, oh, I'm going to do that one, and I'm going to do that one. And so I guess I got lucky. I mean, this is actually my second one because I did the 2 elves already, and Dawn did a really great one. She had a wonderful live last night. And so, you know, we worked through the images, and they're all lovely. They're all wonderful. I'm going back into the E25. But we know that you guys that follow us, you know, you want to see all the images, so we're trying to get them all done. I think we have 6 of them all together for right now. And we loved our ones that we did at Halloween. They were so cute. Now, Priya does little videos. So if you ever see hers, she does these little videos, and they're really good. And then Elaine does videos too. And Sharon and Dawn and Gail and I do the lives. So I'm just kind of going in and around. Okay, so pull a little bit more out. Then I'm going to go back in with my light. Oh, that was my lighter color there. Let me go back in just a little bit. Try to pull it out just a little bit more. And a little bit more over here. Okay. Not as happy with her hair as I would. I wasn't brave enough to do black hair. I will work on that. Okay, so I'm just trying to pull it through, trying to give her a little bit of highlights. Okay, and I probably will go back in a little bit. Okay, let me, I see a little place that I think that should be a ribbon right here. So do a little, actually the color I picked for the ribbon is pretty dark, so you may not even be seeing it on camera. I don't know. Okay, so there is her hair. And I actually use this for the band. Let me just go around. I feel like I'm having a really one-sided conversation here. I'm sorry. This image took more concentration for me than some of them. Okay. And then we're going to do her feathers. I'm getting a little bit quiet. I'm sorry. Let's see a couple places that I need to go back in. All right. So I'm going to do her feathers. Sorry, that was probably a little loud. And for her feathers, I actually used gray, which wasn't very, I know that's not very exciting color, I know. But I used gray with a little bit, this is C1, a little bit of Y27 on the end. Yes, hair is harder. Actually, my favorite hair is curly hair. I love doing curly hair. And I feel like I don't have a problem with curly hair. I don't know why. And I know other people, like, they dread doing curly hair. And I love doing curly hair. So it's just kind of, I don't know, kind of strange. Plus, I have limited markers. I buy so many a month. And I'm expanding, you know, on my collection of markers, but I can only buy so many a month. But right now I'm going to lay off buying them until a few months, because Christmas is coming up, and I always quit spending for a few months after Christmas to get caught up on my bills. Okay, so what I did with this, so this was C1, is I also used, let me pull it out. I already have my orange out, but yeah, I think my little one has been in my markers. I have to fight her off whenever I am working with coloring. So I have my C4, and I just a little bit. Just kind of wanted a little bit of shading. Or dimension, not really shading, but just adding some dimension. So I just kind of go in, and I'm sorry, I know I'm turning the paper. I know that makes people dizzy, but really it's easier if you do turn the paper, so that you you know, you have better control of your hands. So I'm just going to pull this out a little bit. Okay. I'm just pulling the dark out just a little bit. And just a little bit. And here just a little bit. Just kind of gives it a little bit of dimension. It's not really shading. I'm just really doing, just so it pops a little bit. There we go. A little bit more. And then, I don't know if this was necessary or not. I just took my marker just for the heck of it. And I just kind of, I don't know, I was just kind of giving it a little bit of color. Like they were dipped in a color. So that's why I did this. I don't know if that was necessary or not, but I just thought it added to the fall colors, and, you know, I don't know, just the beauty of the whole, of using the feathers. So I just did the tips, and that was it. And that might be silly, I don't know. Oh, Dawn, you're being too kind. You're being too kind about the hair. It's the one thing I work on all the time. And I've taken classes and whatever, but I work on the hair all the time. So I'm just kind of pulling the color through just a little bit with my lightest marker. Just a little bit. There we go. Oh, you know what? I missed right up here. She has a feather. See, it's in a, you know what? I don't think that's a feather. I think that's her hair. I'm going to go back in and color that as hair. I don't think that's a feather. I think it's hair. So let's just make it hair. You know, these are, when you get this image, You color it the way you want to color it. It's your image. I say this all the time. There is no marker police. You make it your image the way you want your image to look. Right? There we go. Everybody has their own style. There's not like a right style. Don't let people, I don't know, don't let people tell you that you have to do everything a certain way. Now, you see this, this is a little braid right here. And I enlarged the image as much as I could. And I didn't want to go any larger because, well, then it wouldn't fit on my card. But to color this, see, I have to, I'm just kind of barely touching it. I mean, because it is just small. And it's just kind of hanging down. I mean, that to me is about as good as I'm going to get. All right. So then, for her eyes, I actually don't have a really good brown gel pen. Mine is, see, this is kind of a topaz-y color. I don't have a really good gel. I'm sorry if you can hear my kids upstairs. So I have to get it going. I don't know, gel pens. These are kind of cheapy gel pens, I guess. I got them at Walmart. Yeah, and see, you have to get it going for it to work. All right, so I do her eyes with my gel pen because I do kind of like the look of the gel pens. But like I said, this is more of a topaz. So she's not really got dark brown eyes. She's just got kind of topaz eyes. Okay. All right. And then I take the white and I'm just kind of going here just so I can highlight her eyes a little bit, and I think it makes them pop a little bit more. Sorry, I'm kind of getting quiet again. And then I'm going back in again with this one. And then I take a black, my black, let me see if I have it, my micro liner. And I will just kind of go off to the side here. So with the micro liner, I just kind of go like this. Yep. Like that. Trying to do it gently. There we go. Yeah. Just kind of lining her eyes a little bit. I don't have the steadiest hand tonight, sorry. And then see, I'm going in again, and I'm just doing her, kind of going over her eyelashes, trying to make it so that you can see them a little bit. Because her hair on this image kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's covered up. So let me go back in again. A little bit more. Okay. Just trying to get her eyes to pop a little bit. A little bit more over here. Okay. All right. I can hear my son upstairs. He's being a little loud. I hope that you don't hear him. All right. Now see, this one I have a little bit of black where the white's at. So I'm going to wait just a moment and let that kind of sink into the paper, and then I'll go back in again because I want her eyes to really pop. So I will go back in again in a moment. Let's move on, and I will do her necklace. And I actually did her necklace in the cardinal as well. And that is what is on her ribbon. So I just went in. The only thing about reds is they really, really, really bleed. So you got to be really careful when you do them. And I'm just going to, I go right here. See where she has her beads, and go up. And then again on this other side where she has her beads, and go up. All right. Hi, Jennifer. How are you? Nice to see you. So many so wonderful to see people on tonight. Okay, and I'm going to fix that one eye because I'm not happy with that. I need to clean that eye up a little bit. So is it cold where everybody is at, or is it just us lucky people in the Midwest? I was wondering if everybody else had a heat wave or what happened to you guys. Because I mean, the temperature like suddenly dropped. So I'm using E55, E53, and E31 for her clothing. And I can take this off now, actually. Yeah, so let me take that off. One night I took it off and it had melted on my paper. Not good. So I'm going in with the E31, and I am just, I'm going to do up here where her bodice is at. But see, she's got all this basket right here. She is a slimmer image than some of them that I have worked on. So I apologize. A little bit harder to get in here. And maybe really, you know, sometimes these images are from the color. Just a moment. Just a moment. Sweetheart, I'll be upstairs in a minute and I can talk to you, okay?
I'm already mad.
I'll be with you in a few minutes, okay?
Fine.
Thank you. Okay, so I am just going in with the lighter image. Sorry, that was my son. Nightimes are a bit of a struggle when it's bedtime. Sorry about that. And he's not by himself. He's with my husband. So this is the E31. And I'm going in now with the E55, which is the darker color. And I am going right here. What I was saying is some of these are coloring book pages. And then, of course, it's a larger image. And perhaps this is really from a coloring book. I'm not quite sure. So I'm trying to do the fringe. So you see I'm trying to do the fringe. And then where I feel like there would be a shadow. Okay. Now where I feel like there's a shadow. Sorry, lots of activity upstairs. Now I'm using E53. So you had some snow yesterday, Sandra, and Caroline had snow. Gosh, who else had snow? Jennifer, I think, lives in a warmer climate, so she probably didn't have snow. Actually, for us, it was record-breaking to have snow, and we had ice. I mean, it was very early, very, very early. I'm just doing this very lightly. I have a heavy hand, and so I'm just going in very lightly, just as lightly as I can. And as I said, it's really narrow. She's very narrow compared to some of the images. So, and I could have made her bigger. I guess I should have experimented a little bit and made her just a little bit bigger. But I really wanted her on my card and use a certain die that I have. So I'm going in again where her, like the trim is, and then where her fringe is. And again, where her fringe is. And right here. There we go. And over here by her shoulder. There she goes. I think that looks good. All right, so now I'm going to go in with the lighter color, and I am doing it in sections. You guys are all so amazing. I do appreciate all your support. I truly do. You know, it's a lot easier to color when you are not live, when you are sitting by yourself. But then what would be the fun of that? I always say that actually for me, I don't get a lot of adult conversation, and the lives gives me time to be with adults. All day long I'm with my college students who are quite young. Some of them are quite young, I guess because I'm quite old. And then I have my children at home, and I just don't seem to have very much adult time. So my lives are really my most adult conversation that I have. I think that's so funny. So I really look forward to doing the lives, and I like sharing my crafting journey with you guys. And really on my page, I really want to see your crafting journey. It really wasn't my intention that my page was like my page. I really wanted to have a place where people could post their work. So please, anytime, post any of the things that you're working on the page too. I really want to see it. I just think it's so fun to share. So don't think of it as it's my page and you can't put something on there. Whatever you're working on, please put it on there. And if you have DT projects or challenges or anything that you're working on, please feel free to post them on my page. You're welcome to do that. And here, here again, so you can see it, it's Creative Paper Crafting with Jackie. But you can share whatever you're working on my page. And if you got photos of your snow, share it. It's fine. I'd love to see it. I posted 70 degrees for Jennifer. How nice. How nice. We're so happy for you. Actually, I would love to live someplace where it is warmer. Okay, so I have her little outfit colored, and I am going to do her boots. And I did her boots a little bit different than I have done in the past. I used a little different colors. I used E70 and E71. E70 and E71. So let me pull it out. Like I said, I think some little person has been in my marker box. I have a 17-month-old, and she likes to get into my things. So this is E70, which is Ash Rose. And see, it looks, to me it looks really suede-ish, like suede. And so that's why I used it. And I'm just doing one boot, and then I'll do her other boot. And I went in with my lightest color, which is my E70 right here. And now I'm using the E71. I just feel like these girls, these little Native American girls, they're going to have a lot of suede and leather. So I was trying to make her outfit look, how I would envision it in my head, with a lot of different types of suede or leather material. And that's why I picked these colors. And this is kind of a different color for me that I'm using on her boot right now. A little bit different. And then what I did with her sole down here is I actually took a warm gray, which is W6. And so I just went down here and did the very bottom. See, the very, very bottom. Okay. I'm kind of doing here just a little bit. And then I'm going back with my E71. I do think it's important to do this a couple of times. And that way it lays down a nice foundation of color and gives you, I think it just looks more polished if you do it more than one time. So I'm going around again. And now I'm going to go in with the lighter color and pull that out a bit. And if I get out of frame, Caroline, she loves too many to mention. We all do. Oh yes, post your cards, post your things, post your pictures. I love seeing what everybody's working on. I really wanted my page to be more interactive. I love what other people do. Like I love everything that Dawn and Gail and Sharon work on, and Elaine. I love seeing it all. And I love seeing Stephanie's work And Fatima, I noticed that she has posted a few things on some pages, and I love seeing all that. I think everybody has just got so much creativity and talent, and we should all like celebrate it and embrace it. Yes, sweetheart. You can. So I'm just going in here in the dark area, right in here. There we go. Just a little bit around the edges. And right here. There we go. I'm just kind of pulling it through, and I am going to use again the W6 for the bottom of her foot. Just right here along the edge. Right along the edge where I feel like, you know, it's the bottom of her sole. Right? And then a little bit in here. Just a little bit in here. And then she has kind of a seam. I don't know if you can see that or not. Like stitches, I guess. Not a seam, but stitches. So I was trying to make it look where you can see that she's got a seam. Okay, so there we go. There we go. All right, so let's see. I want to, oh, I need to do her barrel, not barrel, basket. But I got to do her hands. So I'm going to go back in with, I didn't do her hands because I had the tape over her hands. And see, her fingers are teeny tiny. See right here, they're just so tiny. That's why I'm wondering if this was really, really a coloring page, and maybe I should have done her larger, like 8.5 by, what is it, 8.5 by 11, so that I could have done a little bit more. Okay, now let me see if that's dried. I'm gonna see if I can go in there and fix this a little bit. There we go. I wish I had the white Copic stuff at the moment, because I think that would clean up her eye a little bit. Because there we go. Because I think I got her eye a little bit dark. There we go. Kind of mixed in with my marker. But see, I want her eyes to pop, and that's why I used a microliner where her eyelashes were at, and tried to do around her eyes a little bit. Okay, so let's do her basket. And for her basket, let me see. Let me pull out what I used. Okay, I used my warm grays. So I'm going to go in with my W0 right here. And I'm just laying down color to get this wet. So I'm just going around, just trying to get it kind of wet. There we go. And then I went in with my W4. I actually love the warm grays. I don't know, they're my favorite. I just think they're so pretty. I'm just kind of going in. Because a basket has weaving in it. When I lived in Savannah, I used to, over on River Street, there were people that made baskets, that weaved the baskets. It was always so fascinating. I used to love watching them do that. And I think they do that in Charleston too. If you've ever been there, you can watch them make the baskets. It's a real art. And people here, you know, we have a lot of like Native American activities here, and they make baskets out of, I think it's elm trees. And that is really interesting. And so it's made out of a bark. It's very interesting the way they do it. It's just fascinating to me how creative people are. Okay, and so I'm just kind of going over that. Okay, so I was trying to give it a rounded look, and that's why I do the darker color around the edges, to try to give it a bit of a rounded look. And I'm going back because I do think 2 times at least is the key to images. So just going back over it. So there we go. And then I will do again with my W0. And just kind of lightly. There we go. Okay, now off to the vegetables. And I was saying earlier, oh, hi, is Carrie on? Hi. Hi, how are you? How's everybody? Jackie, do you have a fave image? Sorry for repeating, just hoping you will see. Oh, a favorite image of my besties? Oh my gosh. To be perfectly honest, I love so many of them. I was trying to see if I had, which one I had that I'll show you what one I loved. I love, I think this is a bathtub, not a basket. Not a casket, rather. I love the images where they're sitting in the bathtubs. There are several that I just adore. And so this is one of my favorite ones right here. I just love it. I'm in Indiana, in Vincennes, Indiana, which is home of, you might not have heard of him, Red Skeleton. Red Skeleton was born here. And we have the Red Skeleton Theater, and we have the parade of 1,000 clowns on his birthday. So Bob Hope's wife has come here and has donated. She had a lot of Red Skeleton memorabilia, and she donated some of it, so she has visited. John Cougar Mellencamp, for people that are in my age group, went to college here, and he lives about an hour away in Bloomington. And he's actually a really super nice guy. I had a friend that worked for him, did IT work. I used to work in IT, and she did IT work. I'm sorry, I'm using BV17 and BV00. I think these are grapes. For me, they're grapes. Maybe they're tomatoes, but I'm saying they're grapes. So, anyway, John Cougar Mellencamp, he went to college where I work at. He donated our music lab, our recording lab. It's right across from my classrooms. I'm trying to think out who else. Somebody not so great to remember, Charles Manson. He went to school near here in Terre Haute. The boys' school, which they changed to the Gibraltar School for Boys. So he went to school here. We've had a lot of fame. Letterman, John Letterman. He's from Indiana. So where I live at, it was the original capital of Indiana. Vincennes is the original capital. This is YR14 and Y17. So it was the original capital. Now it's Indianapolis. So we have the oldest of like everything. The oldest newspaper, the oldest bank, the oldest college. Where I work at is the oldest college in Indiana and west of the Mississippi. We have a lot of firsts here. We have a memorial, which normally you don't see outside of Washington, D.C. We have a huge memorial. You know, so it's an interesting city. So I thought that was probably squash, because Indians, squash, corn, and something else is considered a blessing. I was trying to think what it was. It's not tomatoes, but there's another vegetable, and it's considered a blessing. For the life of me, it's kind of escaped my head. Maybe one of you know what it is. I know, but I bought color books on nice paper. You can get some rubbish coloring, but yes, you can get some terrible coloring books. I like my paper to be nice and sturdy. When I color in coloring books, I like them to be nice and sturdy. And I have to be honest, I've not tried any of Sherry Baldy's coloring books, but I imagine that they're all just fabulous. I can't imagine the paper not being fabulous, because her images are beautiful, so detailed. I love doing the Sherry Baldy images because, see, they just have so much detail. Okay, so that's her basket of veggies right there. And I kind of filled in a little bit because just to kind of fill in the background a little bit. There we go, like that. Like so. All right, so there she is. I just think she's so, so pretty. And now we're going to assemble a card. And I do apologize for my little boy coming in a couple of times. You know, bedtimes are a struggle. But, you know, I think that's something that happens with all kids. Right? They don't want to go to bed. I already actually made my card base. I say this every single time I do a live, that I bought paper while I was in England. It's so heavy duty. Oh my gosh, see? Just, I love it. I'm going to be so sad when it is gone. My aunt laughed at me when I visited because I went to the craft store and that's all I took back was loads of paper. Because I loved it so much. I don't know if you saw what I just did there. I had the paper, like I had the paper like this, right? And then I flipped it over to put the glue on. But what difference did it matter which side I did it on? Because it's the same color either side. But I always do that, and then I always laugh at myself. And I am using art glitter glue. And I am basically making a mat is what I'm doing. And there we go. And generally I turn it upside down to try to make it stick. Okay. So what I'm doing is, this is actually Sherry Baldy's paper right here, and I printed it off. It was in the fall selection paper pack, and I am so sorry. I should have looked at the name before I did it, but I printed that off. And see, it's got leaves. See, isn't it pretty? I just thought it was so pretty. And I printed that on my Canon. I have a Canon printer that is good with large paper sizes and cardstock, and it printed off really nicely. And I just used white paper. That's why I was asking Dawn last night when she printed hers, what kind of paper did she use? That's what I was trying to ask her that for. Not because I was being like pushy and nosy. It's just that I was wondering what paper had she used. So I thought this would look really good, and that's how I decided on the colors for my little girl, was based on the colors. So I was trying to match up the best I could the colors in the paper. So that is how I did that. I always pick my paper first, and then I pull out my markers and try to decide what colors I want to do. Unless, you know, like sometimes I have something in my head, which I've been told that it's kind of a scary place in my head. But sometimes I just know I want to do something really pink or really purple, and then I find the paper afterwards. So I have these leaves. I just think they're so pretty, and I have a ribbon, and I have my little I typed up Autumn Harvest Blessings. That is what I typed up. So I thought that I would place these leaves around. And what I did is I have, see, like this. And I know I had one more. Here it is. An orangey one up here. So like this. And then I was putting my image here. And so that's what I'm going to do. And so I'm just kind of looking so that I put these in the right spot. And see that, I don't know if you can see it, they kind of got glitter. I just find little items that I think would make cute little embellishments and go with them. Like I said, this is a really rural area. And so I pick things up and then I hang on to them until I can use them. And so I'm just putting this down here. It's kind of, now when I put my center on, this will all stay down. And I could use a hot glue gun. I know, and I should do that. But I have found this art glitter glue really does dry really nice and things stay down. So I've been really happy with it. My Bestie Beautiful Fall Day. Oh, thank you, Sharon, for posting that. I have it on my page, what the name of the image is. But thank you so much for posting that. Sharon, actually everybody, we help each other out when we're doing lives. Help by sharing and posting links and doing everything. I think it's so nice. What I'm doing is just putting I might be out of frame a little bit, putting my adhesive on. And this, actually, I just get this at the Dollar Tree. It's not very expensive. I go through so much of it. The only thing about the Dollar Tree is you don't know. It's like this is little squares. And sometimes you get strips that you have to cut, which I actually prefer that. You just don't know what they're going to have in. So this is what they had in last time. And when I go, I buy about 3 or 4. But I don't buy it all because I feel like, well, then somebody else that's going in that wants to buy something, it's not there for them. So I don't buy everything up when I go, because it's frustrating to go to the store and you can't get something because somebody bought it all out. So I try to think of other people when I go. There we go. So I'm going to put her right here. And I should have, I don't know. Let's see. Do I need to put another leaf? I don't know. But I thought I would put the ribbon right here, like so. And I have, if I can find it, little glue dots. If I can find it. I don't see them at the moment, so we're just going to use our art glitter glue. And it works just fine. I use it all the time. And I felt like that. Like so. Like that. And then I do have, and I'll probably push that down just a little bit. I do have the Autumn Harvest Blessing, and I typed this up on my computer, and then I cut it out in a, what do you call that? Like a little flag ending, little tag, flag tag, I don't know. Yeah, call it something. The name escapes me. See, and I'm using the same paper that I had back here. And actually, this is Simon Says paper that I'm using right here. They have some lovely paper that you can buy for matting. I don't buy it that often. It's something, I probably have had this 6 years. I'm not a paper hoarder because I truly do use my paper. It's just that fall only comes around once a year. So the paper does last. All right, so I'm going to put this on. And I'm going to put this on. See, I actually should have moved her up higher because now this is going to cover her feet a bit. But I'm going to put it here at the bottom. Okay, so there we go. There we go. So there she is. And it will all stay. This art glitter glue is wonderful. And there we go. I just think she's, I'm going to tidy up her eye a little bit, but I think the black, using the microliner to, around the eyes to kind of, I don't know, highlight them a little bit, helps. So, I don't know. What do you think? I was trying to make suede. I think it looks okay. I think it looks like suede. Anyway, oh, fishtail banner. There you go. This is a fishtail banner. Thank you. See, thank you, Sharon. Yes, Dawn is contagious. I hear like so, and it's a party in my head all the time. I just think that's so funny. Thank you, Gail. You guys are like so kind all the time. But here you go. I think it's a nice autumn card for this time of the year. In the autumn, you could send it as a thank you card, a birthday card. Perhaps you might send it as a Thanksgiving card. But I just think it's pretty. It'd make a pretty birthday card. Just a nice card in general. But it was fun to color, and I really enjoyed having everybody with me tonight. And I want to thank you. And I hope you enjoyed the card. And oh, I am going to be live on Friday. Today's Wednesday. On Friday, Gail's live on Sunday, And Dawn is live again Thursday, and I believe she's Thursday at 1 o'clock. She can correct me if I'm wrong. And then next week, Dawn and I are switching nights. I'm going to do Tuesday, and she's going to do Wednesday. We're doing a little switcheroo next week for one night, one evening each. So those are the upcoming lives, and I hope that you will join us because we all love talking to you guys and chatting. And I will see you later on. Try to do my hand. Night all.